Hello, this is George Sandman. I'm the founder and CEO of Growth Drive. And Growth Drive is a system used by business advisors to drive client profits, growth, and value. Now, we're also a community. Every week we get together to talk about all things business advisor, everything clients, cases, things we're seeing out in the world. Now, tune in here to this podcast, and you can join the conversation by scanning this QR code, passcode 867-5309. Jump into the conversation. Everyone's welcome. We're looking forward to having you. So here we go. On with the show.
Hey, man. I thought you were on vacation.
This is my last appointment. Would I miss a coffee Klatsch? Seems almost sacrilegious.
Sacrilege.
Sacrilege.
Good to see you, man.
Good to see you, George. How you doing?
Good.
Good.
My hair's going all over creation. That's okay. At least I've got some left.
Might get a late start today, huh? Since this is all new. Oh.
There's Ed.
Not when you got Ed Wonky. He knows everything.
Hey, I got to get me back on the screen here.
There we go. Hey, Ed.
There he is.
Good. Well, it required me to join and log in. I didn't realize it was going to do that.
It is recording. Okay. Great.
Hey, Ed, is that ceiling fan gonna drop from the ceiling and kill you? It looks like a
stand up. It's tall.
Well,
Yeah.
let's put it this way. I can't quite dust the top of the fan.
Yeah, no, don't try.
So it's that, but with a little arm extension, a little swifter there, it works. So,
Hey,
George,
Mitch.
did you hear anything further about Chicago yesterday?
Nope. Nothing yet. I will make a phone call. Ed and I were talking about whether or not we should go to the AMNAA gig in Chicago, and I have a couple of close-in companies who are going to be there. But it doesn't. It's a good time, but it doesn't produce much for selfishly for me. So places. How are you, man?
Hi.
Hey, Bonnie. How are you?
I'm good. Just come back from my vacation. So
Awesome. I thought you were going to Hong Kong.
yes, I am too. Another month. You know, my baby is having a baby. So
That comes at you fast, Bonnie.
too fast. I know.
So, and Paul, okay, so we have, I'm just going to double check, and Wayne, awesome. Okay, so people have found us. I'm going to make sure that Joseph Frasco has joined your meeting. I'm going to compose a note.
So if Paul can figure it out, he's the earliest riser in the group to get here.
Hey, George, is there a link or something to this new format that I just want to put it in the calendar invite that I developed for this thing? And,
Yes,
you know, if it's,
I believe I would just link to, so I had not made
There was.
it. This is a test.
yeah, sure. Oh, here it is. Copy link to clipboard. Okay,
There
that's
is
what I'll
there
do.
is a link because I put it in my calendar invite too. It's really
Alright.
long. But
It's really long.
mine was really long. I can put it. Is there a chat in this? I can throw it in here.
It sounds really
I'll show
scary.
you what I had. It worked.
Hey, Mitch, I like that you have, instead of the normal webcam like the rest of us, you have the surveillance camera that is like looking down on you.
I know. I should turn. Let me see what happens when I turn on the light. Is it worse? Now I'm being interrogated.
Yeah, right.
There we go.
And, well, it's nice to see inside your prison cell.
I know. And I even have George's book I just got. So
Awesome.
Wow,
Hey,
you're
Eric.
really up to date then.
Hey, Eric, check out what Ed's got behind him. It looks like the fan at the top of the fizzy lifting drinks tube.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what's been going on? Wayne and Paul, I just saw Wayne out in Scottsdale at the Madison Insurance Group conference, which was great. Wayne, good to see you. And Wayne, I need to talk to you about an opportunity. Yeah, man. What's on everybody's mind this morning? So this technology seems to be working okay. This is a test.
I would guess that there will be a few late joiners just because of the process.
I went and sent Joseph Frasco a note saying, "Hey, we're not here. We're not in Zoom."
Yeah, I almost sent you a note, and then I realized I had to log into Circle to actually see the link.
Got it.
That I found that too, Eric. I'm saying I don't know how to get
Like
in.
nothing will click here. Oh, I'm not logged in. Tell me.
Yeah, log in and it's okay.
And so far it works. This seems to be working. It's recording. We'll see the quality of the recording. I can see everybody super clearly.
Bonnie!
Who is this? Wow. Oh my God. Hi.
Awesome.
Mitch!
The voice of Virginia, here we come.
So I just want for the record, Mitch is on mute, which is new.
You can hear me, Mike?
Yeah, it's good. You need to turn it.
Hey, Mike,
We can hear you just fine.
Hey, Mike, just so you know, the coffee clutch starts at 9:30 Eastern Daylight. Annie Meridian.
he's gonna.
You're right. Nice haircut, by the way.
Thanks, baby.
You.
Oh, it's pretty. What do you mean?
So, and then we have Wayne and Jemiah's here. Awesome.
Hey guys, sorry I can't have a video on the time.
No, that's okay, man. That's okay. We're good. Well, guys, Wayne Lorgas, who's on this call, called me and said, "Hey, George, the proposal that's in the C3D book, Mitch, we're about to update it, is, I will paraphrase, Wayne, is a little long in the tooth and needs an update because it doesn't adequately reflect our process." And so I created a new proposal template, and Wayne hasn't had a chance to tell me
What do you think?
thumbs up, thumbs down, but it did pass the sniff test. I read through it and it passed the sniff test. So
I'll push my attorney and see if they agree.
yeah, I'm going to share it with the community, and we'll see what you guys think.
To answer your question, George, yeah, I think it's really really good. I've been modifying it a little bit for this client I'm working with right now, this potential client. But I really liked it.
Great. Yeah, I thought, of course you're going to, this is meant to be modified. Again, we are not a franchise. Okay, cool. Wayne, thank you. And thanks for saying, "Hey, George, this is, as you pointed out, the one that's in the book is fine. And it works, but it doesn't reflect our process. So I'll pop this in the community and we'll release it. I'll make sure that Catherine puts a link in 3 great resources.
Awesome.
Yeah. What else should we? Man, and we got a lot going on. We're going to start releasing advisor conversation guides.
That's great.
These are conversation guides that would attach to each, and we'll of course load them into Clare, both Clare 1 and Clare 2, to give you guys, to keep giving you resources. So we're going to do a conversation guide at each step of the process, and you can pull them, mix them, do what you want.
What is Clare 1 and Clare 2?
Mitch, that is a fair question. So Clare 1 is the dev model of Clare. Clare is our AI, our trained AI. Clare 1 is a custom chat GPT. So it's it's a custom chat GPT with everything that implies. Super well trained, 600,000 words, 300 videos, just a ton of resources. She's great. And she has a sidekick, Tony, who is our customer success. And many of you have used Tony, and my phone isn't blowing up with questions. So not blowing up, it seems to be working. So we took that LLM based model and Tony, who's also a custom chat GPT, and we combined them and we have moved them inside the Clarity software. Now, when we did that, we did it was what's called a retrieval augmented generation, which is what you're experiencing inside HubSpot, inside of, you know, those started as bots. We want to move we were already, Clare 2 was already better than a bot. However, there's so we did some testing, and the preliminary feedback was people were expecting an LLM and getting a retrieval augmented generation, which is different than an LLM, right? So this is a think of a RAG as being AI in a box, and an LLM as being an AI out in the wild. So what we are now doing is we are creating an LLM like experience, right? LLM like access inside Clarity, and so we did an alpha release. We got your feedback, or heard you, and we're increasing the capability. We're going to make Clare 2. I'm just waiting for the ping from my engineers, our engineers, frankly, your engineers, and we're going to release Clare 2. You will. I'll ring the gong on this, but you'll see a little cloud in the corner, and that's AI activated inside Clarity. The challenge was, just to finish the thought, was that people were asking in the test pool, people were asking Clare 2, the RAG, R-A-G, to do things that you would expect an LLM to do, but that a RAG it is beyond the capabilities of a RAG to break through the walls. So if you start asking about, the emotional state, or can you compare 14 different reports was one request. As I tried to compare 14 reports using a full power LLM, and
that hits a limit.
AI is good, but that's that's asking a little too much.
Yeah.
Bench press, but I can't bench press 500, and that was bench press 500. So I don't even know if that's a lot, but anyway, that's a lot. So we're exactly, Mike, and handing blood with that. What we do have working, we have a couple of things. We're doing some small UX, like automatically sorting your reports based on the most recent update, so that right at the top is the client you've worked on most recently. We have the API to Claude and to other meetings is also, I think it's through QA. So you'll see some
more AI stuff.
Significant releases, which will be followed. We have a dead roadmap. So let's get those out there before I talk about what's next. Ultimately, we're going to change the entire dashboard for you, so that we're going to improve the dashboard. So you're going to have better metrics rather than
problem solving metrics.
Yeah.
Yes, it's nice.
And what we do have working beautifully is an Anthropic powered RAG inside Clare 2 that is right now is a pure deliverables generator. So it is creating. This is the template. So your deliverables these are now AI powered. So if you want to iterate, you want to add information, you don't like what's in it, or you want something, you tell it. Yep. But it'll use this type of format. And I have a level 1 and a level 2, not the level 1 and level 2 reports. The report tab when you complete level 1, and the analysis dashboard when you complete level 2. We have those and working beautifully and very consistently. The other thing with AI is you take some extra work to make sure that you get the same, that it acts a bit like software, right? That you get the same result each time.
Yeah.
And that she's bulletproof on pulling, that you're not getting hey, your client's worth $24 million. It's like, well, they have $1 million of revenue. What's this? So,
check.
It's funny until it happens to you, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, a lot going on, guys. Always evolving forward. And well, I'll stop there.
So how are we gonna know? Are you gonna put a list of deadlines of what's happening so I can go in and test it out?
Absolutely, Bonnie. Yep. Yeah, you will. You'll also notice that we're sharpening up doing things out of, in the community, through the community. And Circle as a technology, which we're using right now, has also evolved, and it has some more robust outreach capabilities now. So yes, Bonnie, you will definitely know, and we're planning webinars, the how-to webinars, which are then recorded. And what do we do with them? We feed them to the AI.
Yeah. You know you're gonna say that.
Virtual
So, breakfast food.
That's perfect.
So does that make sense, guys?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Yeah, man. What's going on in everyone? Mike, you look like you're biting your tongue there. What do you got?
I'm just overwhelmed by data. Like what did I parachute into?
Yeah, man.
You're still flying. You're not landing yet.
Well, to be fair, I talked to Andy Weevil for an hour and a half this morning. So
Hey, Mike, how are you?
brain's hurting a little bit.
Good morning, Mike.
I'm looking forward to hearing how that conversation.
We are in
An hour and a half. That's like a 3-hour conversation.
We're in 100% agreement on the avatar and interactive, and we have a solution.
Awesome, great. I might as well take, now that I guess it's kind of halfway out on the table. One of the things we talked about, the summit committee, so we're focusing, as we discussed last week, on producing, and of having product for each of the sessions, producing something tangible. And Mike had suggested that we have an AI-powered avatar. Mike, you describe it. I'm just gonna.
So it's real simple. We're just looking for a deeper immersive experience where instead of just having a text document for the case study, that you actually use AI. And there's a lot of work. So right now it's Andy and I are committed to doing it. You're probably talking 40 to 80 hours of work we'll be doing to deliver this experience, right? But we're talking about loading the case study up with a whole bunch of other data around commercial sales, commercial product delivery, and having the ability to have a large avatar introduce different subject matters or different contexts within the summit. So you'll hear from Diane at Ridge at different. The committee still has to approve what actually is getting done. Eric, that's a hint, right? The committee has to approve because there's too much. There's too much. I can see Eric. I already hear you. Eric.
Hey, Mike, just
Eric,
remember,
right. Eric,
he's
right.
so stressed he's losing his hair.
Yeah, but the concept that we're aiming at is being able to have large format introductions to Diane live through an avatar. So everyone in the summit gets to experience that. And then breaking it down for working sessions at the table where Diane and other members of the team, if you've worked in the case study, you know who we're talking about, will actually be live at the table. And you will be having conversations with them. So that's all I'm going to talk about for that right now, because it has not been approved.
Mike, who is Diane and what summit are we talking about?
There's a specific case study, Mitch, that's written around
the Rich whatever, Diane.
Specialty tooling. You'll learn about it in CPA.
So Mitch, we have a legacy case study.
Okay.
That anchors learning about growth drive methodology across a complete client timeline, right?
Okay. That makes sense. Diane is writing this case study?
Diane is the owner of the company. So
Diane, yes.
She's a character in the case study.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
That's thing one. And thing one is that the case study was fine for the purpose for which it was designed. We have now expanded and deepened it to better address.
I got you. You didn't tell me, George, that I needed Kahlua in my coffee for this class.
You did. You did. Put a Red Bull back.
Patron.
I'm going
the
to
summit, Mitch, is an important question.
I kind of stole.
The summit is here in Charleston. The Growth Drive Summit is here in Charleston on October 5th, 6th, and 7th. And it is, you'll hear some excitement about it. It
But
so far has been a very positive experience.
Yeah,
That's all that's about.
I got you. That gives me the context. I don't need to know every detail. Obviously, I'm brand new, but that's very helpful.
Yeah, and Mitch, welcome.
Thank you.
Thrilled to have you and your voice in our community. So welcome. Mitch is pursuing his C3D, and thank you, Mitch. Thrilled to have you. And by the way, Mitch, not everyone knows you. Would you be willing to share a few minutes about your background?
Sure. I mean, normally I'm very reserved and shy, so
You are.
No, I was actually going to ask. I know I only knew about half the people on the call. I recently had my own technology company and worked for the private equity firm that bought us until the middle of last year. I'm happy to give more information, but try to do this in less than a minute. And in July of 2025, I left and decided to go on my own. Took a little bit of time to figure out what that is, and got my CPA in January from EPI, and am now fully engaged in building a value advisory firm using now decided with a lot of help from the people I met, from the introduction that Mike made and George, and I met Eric and Tip. And I've decided to fully jump in and invest in my own company. It's called AFI Strategic Partners. And I'm building a value advisory services firm to help businesses as they exit. So focused on being that co-CEO for all 24 areas, not being the expert, but being the driving force to make sure they get that done. And a lot to learn on the process. I have my own experience, which helps a lot. And George, very kind, which I appreciate. I now have, I think I'm on the precipice of signing my second client. So not in addition to the one we talked about, so should have 2 clients, good ones to start bringing into the process. So welcome. And I look forward to meeting Bonnie, Paul, Dean, Edward, Jeremiah, and Mike. I haven't met any of you yet.
Yeah. Awesome.
Oh, and I'm in Atlanta, Georgia, if anybody's close by.
Bye.
Yeah. Awesome.
That's good. I'll be there on Thursday.
Oh, okay. Where are you, Edward?
I live in Columbus, Ohio.
I was just there, got back yesterday. My daughter is now a Buckeye alumni. She just graduated.
Boom. Congratulations.
Thank you. Edward, we're alone. We're carrying the flag by ourselves. I can't.
I'm not alumni from there, but I have 7 grandchildren that are.
Oh wow!
I was in Chicago because I now have alumni from Loyola University's law school.
Oh, wow.
Hey, Mitch,
Yeah.
we got a sketchy member in Atlanta named Jemiah. So just watch out.
Always making jokes.
Hey, Jemiah.
Defend yourself, man. And Jemiah's on the summit committee as well. Awesome. Thanks, Mitch.
Thank you, George. I appreciate it.
Is there anything on your minds? Any questions? Mike, you look ready to jump in. Mike Desiato.
You mean me? It says you. My name is you. Y-O-U. I guess I didn't identify myself properly, but anyway, Mike Desiato here.
I think it shows up that way on this.
Yeah, it's showing up. It's showing up.
Mine shows as you also.
Oh, it does. Oh, I see you. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
All right. As I tell people, my mother raised fat kids, not dumb kids. But anyway, so I'm working. I have an opportunity to work with a large CPA firm, right? I think I may have reached out to you about this, George, right? And so, I talked to them about, the value growth advisory work that we do together here at Growth Drive, right? There's a process, it's a proven process. And I'm talking to the managing partner down here, the Fort Lauderdale office of a pretty national sized firm. And she used to come to the, when I was the president of the Exit Planning Institute chapter down here, her firm was a sponsor, and she used to come to all the meetings. So she knows what we do as exit planner value growth advisor. So anyway, so I talked to her, and she's like, yeah, that sounds really interesting. We don't do that kind of work. We do M&A advisory, right? We do transaction advisory. They even have their own investment bank as part, not in their firm, but affiliated with their firm, with their same firm name. So they actually sell companies. But they give advice, but they don't help people implement. They don't go from advice to action to results. They don't do that. All right. And so I talked to her, and she said to me, yeah, it sounds very interesting. So can you provide me some financial projections? What would this look like? So I was working on them, and I've been working with Tim Rohde, on this, because he's also approached CPA firms. He has some experience with them as well. So that's what I'm working on. And I'll see how it goes. I don't know if, we'll see. I think it could be very good for them. It could be something that differentiates them in the marketplace, because a lot of CPA firms say they do this kind of stuff, but they say they do it and they talk about it, but they don't help people implement and get things done. They just say, oh yeah, you got to increase you got to get a broader client base. You need a scalable sale. You need you got to do all this, but do it. But they don't actually partner with them like as an implementation partner to get this stuff done. Yeah. And then of course, and I always, being the CPA that I am, and being in big firms, a couple of big firms in my career, I know that the audit people get very nervous about this kind of work, because they don't want any of this to impair their independence. And so, I have to, and I told this woman, very smart, I said, look, we do not make the final decisions on what to do or what not to do. We are not accountable for results. The management team is accountable for the execution and results. They make the decisions. We do not make any decisions for them. We shine a light on it. We show them what should be done. We kind of give them visibility of what's happening and what's not happening. But ultimately, it's their decision to do this or not do this. And that, I think, goes a long way inside these firms with audit practices, because they're very fearful of, like, oh shit, now we're not independent. Excuse my language. We're not independent, and we can't do our audits and reviews anymore. So that's what I'm working on. I want to be cautiously optimistic. I hope it works out, but that's where that's something I'm working on. That's all.
Awesome, man. And your point about CPA firms is really well made. A lot of passion for helping clients, but also some issues to navigate, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, listen, one of my favorite meetings of all time, I've had a bunch with many with CPA firms, and one was standing, and I spent hours preparing this before AI. I spent hours preparing this entire presentation and tying the methodology and the process to the firm's published products, and the firm will remain nameless. And I start going through the deck, talking about why this is important to the firm, why it's important to their clients. And the managing partner, who's a great guy, stops me and says, George, thank you very much, but we don't actually do all of that, right? So we tend to bring in outside experts to do all of that. I'm like, oh. Well, let's just stop with this presentation right now. And you're right, the sensitivities around audit and around valuation. The valuation part has become much less of a hurdle ever since Parnell at NACFA has really leaned into being a value advisor rather than simply a value analyst. I'm referring to CPAs, and but CPA firms, you know, I think ultimately for the time being, Mike, are you finding that they make pretty good partners, right? That's an opportunity for you and for your colleagues.
Say that again, George. I'm sorry.
It's an opportunity for you to partner with the firm,
Right.
maybe tuck in under, yeah.
Well, you know what, and you know, and I think they see this because some of the stuff that we do in Growth Drive, right? A lot of it, when I looked at the 24 growth driving objectives, there's like 3 or 4 of them in there that is right in their bailiwick of expertise, right? Financial reporting, you know, monitoring for budgeting, forecasting, all that outsourced CFO stuff that a lot of these companies aren't getting, they can provide, right? So there's ancillary work that they can get just in that area. And then also, sorry, this firm happens to have an investment bank, you know, as part of their company, if you will, their firm. So they actually sell companies. They actually sell them. So what I'm saying to them is, look, why not be able to help them, you know, shepherd them along the way to get maximum value, and then have your investment banking arm come in and sell, right? So it's a natural leader or a funnel for all that investment banking work that you can build. And in addition to, they may need audited financial statements that they don't have right now. So you could start doing audits. They may need, you know, other outsourced financial CFO type services. Or the other thing, they may not be totally compliant with all the rules and regulations in the various jurisdictions in which they do business, which I find, I see that a lot. You know, they're doing business nationally, but they're not filing tax returns in all the jurisdictions in which they are occupying, doing business in, because they just don't, they wait to get caught. You know, they have the ostrich mentality. I'll just wait till I get caught. Why should I come forward? You know, and I say, well, if they catch you, you know, they're not going to be so lenient on penalties. But if you voluntarily disclose, I can tell you that you can limit their look back period and get rid of penalties. And I've had people say, well, you know what, I'm not going to do it. And I said, okay, well, the buyer's going to find it. And they said, well, let the buyer find it and let them escrow money. And I don't want to deal with it. So, but that's not everybody. But a good firm will be able to handle that and say, let's fix this stuff before you go to due diligence, right? Otherwise, I guarantee you the buyer's due diligence team is going to find this. And it's another reason for them to discount your price.
That's the white paper I'm waiting right now with Andy. Yeah.
Escrow the money. I've seen them escrow the money and say, we're going to use that money to fix that. And then they use all that money and you never get it.
That's right.
Yeah. It never comes back in value.
Because they put I've seen it. The guy, and I told the guy this, and he goes, let them escrow. I don't care. But I guess it didn't matter to him because he didn't need the money. But for a lot of people, that could be a lot of money. Anyway, that's it.
M&A prep. It's funny, Mike, because that's part of what you're referring to is a white paper that I'm putting a ton of work into. The title is strategic capacity. Let's go all the way to the top here. It's a long one. Strategic capacity as strategic capacity as a target screening tool for M&A. And in the paper, we not make the argument, but we discuss how understanding strategic capacity is important pre-LOI for the buy side, right? And is important for the sell side, positioning the business and supporting the SIM, supporting their argument about value. And it's fun. It's a lot, but it's a fun white paper, which should be done in the next week or so. I'm ready to go. So, yeah, man. What's interesting is my phone rang yesterday, and it's an attorney I met down in Houston, and he has a specific. It was right on point with this white paper. It's funny, I call those God whispers. I'm like, really? This is not a question I've ever had. And I'm writing this white paper, and this gentleman calls me. And how do we better understand targets before we start committing time and money to a transaction, before we get involved in an LOI? And that's precisely what I'm arguing, and what the market is telling us they want. And I put that hand in glove with, we have one of our members is an investment banker, and they're busy working on a monster deal. Well, monster by middle market standards, and or significant for our market. And this is exactly, they're using strategic capacity overtly in the sim. And they're not only are they commanding a price, they're winnowing 40 interested parties down to 20, all of whom have kind of given the nod. We all know that that's BS until we get through due diligence, right? But are really, he said, this is a unique experience for them. They sell a lot of companies, but by adding the strategic capacity perspective, he's getting, he has an interest spike. So food for thought as we think about the different ways in which we can support our clients.
George, I'm sorry, I have a meeting down in Buckhead, which for anybody in Atlanta knows, that's a journey for me, so I have to get down there.
Cool.
But thank you all. It was a real pleasure. This is a great idea that you do this. Thank you. Thanks for giving me the chance to introduce myself, and I hope I know a few of you already from the EPI Summit, but I look forward to meeting everybody and being part of these. How often do you do them?
Every week, Tuesday, 9:30 a.m.
Okay, terrific.
Hey, Mitch, I'll be in Buckhead for the whole time.
Oh, will you really? Well, if you have a chance, I think I just reached out to you on LinkedIn. Would love to meet. I love networking, so I'm there a lot, even though it's a journey from John's Creek.
Yeah, so you're going to leave now and maybe get there by lunch, right?
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's not much of a joke.
All right, man. Mitch, great to see you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Yeah.
All right. So, other than that, Mrs. Lincoln.
Hey, Mike, I too have worked with the CPA firm, but I've not been able to get them to jump. They try to tell me which one of theirs should go, and I think that we're not getting the right message. The managing partner is trying to guide me on accounts that he's managing as opposed to the whole firm. And so ironically, when I'm in Atlanta, I'm going to meet the managing partner of the firm that's in Atlanta and try to explain to her what we do and how we do it. Because I think the person I'm working with, he's been managing partner of the whole firm for like the last 12 years, and he's going to retire in a year and a half. And he's spending all of his time on acquisition, so he doesn't even see the value of what we do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll see what happens. I'll give it a shot. So George, the other thing I wanted to mention, and maybe we should think about doing this in Growth Drive, is that, when I talk to people about the implementation phase, right, of the process, they say, well, you can't do all this, right? And I go, no, I can't do all this stuff that needs to be done. I use the analogy of being a general contractor, and I bring in specialists when I need to. But I know a lot of the specialists that we allude to in these conversations are in our community.
Yeah.
So it may be good, and I don't know if this thing exists, but it would be good to put together some kind of network of specialists in Growth Drive and put them in groups. Like, here are your sales specialists. Here is your leadership development people. Here are your business valuation. Here are your CPAs. Here, so at the community we can have, and maybe it's there. So maybe I'm not seeing it, but that would be a great thing to have. That's all.
I think so too. I agree.
One of the things that's a great point, Mike, and one of the best things you can do to be findable in the community is to make sure that your bio is that your bio reflects what you do, why clients hire you, who you like to work with, et cetera. And AI can certainly help you put that together in a succinct way. But if your bio, so then if you search, like, I need a CFO, if you have CFO in your bio, you're going to bubble up. Now, creating subgroups, we have tags. And I will say that Catherine and I discussed it yesterday, and we're going to go back through. We go through the community periodically and update tags, get rid of deadwood like spaces and content stuff that's obsolete. And we've just initiated another go through. But that's a great point, Mike. And I would really recommend, ladies and gentlemen, that you get your bios, take 45 seconds and make sure your bio is on point. Also, by the way, those bios, I believe, can be found publicly. So
what I'm suggesting, George, is that maybe, and I'm using the wrong terminology, so forgive me, if there is some kind of, I'll use the word landing page, or some kind of document I can go to, and it lists, like, under the category of outsourced CFO, well, here they are.
Yeah.
Under the category of sales and marketing, here they are. Under the leadership development types, here they are. You know, so it's one page, and it's there. I can go look at it and go, oh, okay.
They love it. And I like that, Mike, and I'll take that. I'm busy plotting this because we are putting together we're putting together a couple of other resources. Your points are really, really good one.
I think it's a good one.
It's a good idea.
George, the other thing that might be interesting is allowing each of us to apply tags.
Add tags.
Yeah.
Can we apply tags to people? Because I might tag Tip and Mike and Ed differently than you would, George, in terms of what I want to use them for or how I see them in their practices. And that would give Mike or anyone else the ability to build their team within Circle the way they want to.
What's interesting, Eric, about what you just said is very interesting. And I wonder if there's and I should know this, but I got a lot on my plate. But is there the opportunity to comment, like to do a review? I worked with Tip, and here's this great experience, and here's why. Those reviews, those intra-community reviews.
That'd be good.
The blue pen, it's going down on paper.
Yeah, but I might put Mike in taxes, and Mike might say to me, no, I want to be exit planning. Like to you, he might say, I want to be tagged as exit planning, but I know that Mike is really good at taxes, so I'm going to think of him for taxes also, and I'm going to tag him that way, right? That's my point is I'm going to get to know Ed or Mike or Bonnie better than you're going to put all the tags on them. Let us tag them the way we want to.
Heck yes, and you don't want me describing what you do. You do not want Catherine describing what you do.
Well, and for some of us to put everything that we're capable of doing as a firm in our bio would be the bio would be ridiculous.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I can relate because right now I'm doing a project that Anna introduced me to a BEI person in Louisville on a project in Jacksonville. And so it's 100%.
Dizzy just thinking about it.
I mean, it's all related to different complex valuation. And one of the key things that I brought to the table was familiarity with automotive tier one contractors.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Ed, I don't know if you know this, ironically, but I happen to know a little bit about that. I happen to work for, a pretty large tier two contractor, Johnson Controls, right? Okay. And so, like, there's stuff in all of our background that you'll never put into a profile, but you hear something and you go, oh, now when I'm thinking of that, I'm going to think of that.
And hand in glove with that, if you need some expertise, please post it in the community. I am looking for I'm looking for a CFO in connection with a large M&A transaction who's super adept at modeling. Great. put it, and you guys are. And I know that there's a lot of DM messaging, but if you put it out in public, you're not telling who your client is, et cetera. But you've definitely got enough lines in the water. Cool. These are all great thoughts being recorded, and you know us, we will act. Yes, indeed. I'm fired up, guys. You know, we're almost halfway through the year.
Right.
And it's a good year. This is a good year for this community, and we'll come. Absolutely.
October's going to be here before we know it, and we're going to all be sitting in a room together.
That's 100% right, Eric. And October is going to be here before you know it.
I can say, Eric, your camera dropped off.
Did it?
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting, because we just went down to 5 on my screen.
Yeah. Some people have had to drop off the call.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Bonnie said she had to drop off.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Wayne, I have to say, I don't know what your camera is, but the cinematographic quality of your video coming through is really, really strong.
Well, it's a Logitech camera that was designed for video conferencing. So it's
awesome.
Yeah, it's not what's on my laptop.
It's better. I know I'm using the camera on my iMac, and
well, your camera's pretty good too. Because
yours looks produced though. You're looking sharp, my man.
I would say mine is the one off the computer, so it may not be quite as clear and sharp as your guys.
Hey, we all can see. We can all see each other, which is important. So, guys, 14 minutes or so till the bottom of the hour. Any issues, interests, topics, things that you were hoping we would cover this week? Questions?
I like the fact that Mike and Tim are working with the CPA firm. I worked with the CPA firm on a case, and it kind of blew up only because of misinterpretation of an item.
Other issues, yeah.
And by another person that I was working with at the time. And now that he's not involved with those type of environments and actions, the CPA and I are working without him included in all the trends and discussions on projects.
Awesome. And the accounting world is changing, and there are firms. And Wayne and I heard someone with a national firm when we were down in Scottsdale not make that point, but their firm is leaning into places where CPA firms didn't traditionally go. And I love that innovation. In fact, I love that innovation. A fascinating, I've got to make sure I have my travel. Fascinating. If you want to spend a few days getting a concentrated dose of what the fastest growing firms are doing, Accounting Today has a firm growth forum in San Diego, and it is terrific. And it's the firms that are growing the fastest, as the name implies, and they're in there sharing. And I learned a ton. So just food for thought. And it would be of value, not because you're a CPA, but because you're interested in learning what CPA firms, where they're going, what they're thinking. It's kind of a very candid forum. And what's cool is it isn't sponsorship driven. So you're getting these very candid conversations up on the stage. Very candid, small breakout sessions. I absolutely loved it, and I intend to go again this year. I better make sure it's on my calendar. And,
I could say the one that the outsourced CFOs that I've used, and that is Focus CFO. Yep. I know, George, you and I have talked about them. They've been a steady purveyor of business and introductions and everything back and forth that have been very, very, very good.
For you? Good. That's great.
And it's not, and they're not necessarily purely local. It's been out of town and everything. So
Yeah, they have.
they're pretty national now.
Yeah, they're national, but it's not a franchise model, but it's franchise-ish.
That's right.
Sort of color of franchise. Yeah, there's some good people in that for sure. Wayne is are you a fully reformed CFO? Or
Well, I keep, even though I'm doing something a little different now, obviously, but with focusing on growth drive. But it's interesting that I keep getting pulled back into CFO work every once in a while.
Yeah.
Not so much straightening out the numbers or the books at a company, but more in trying to provide the financial component necessary to execute on a strategy.
Yeah, love that.
Yeah, it's interesting, Wayne. The vast majority of middle market companies, certainly lower middle market companies, don't have true CFOs. They have controllers. They have people who will present what happened historically. They have outside advisors who are great at the technical part of the tax planning and the attestation work that they do, but they don't have the strategic operations forward-looking focus that a true CFO does.
Yeah, and we see that a lot in the Phoenix market as well. Kind of think about them as CFOs in name only, right?
Yeah,
right. But yeah, and it's interesting how many companies I've worked with really don't have a financial model of their company. They may have a budget. They may even have put together a series of forward-looking budgets. But if you say, well, what's driving the growth in year two? It's just the numbers came from somewhere.
I find it even,
exactly.
I find it even a layer below that, Wayne. They don't know their cost structure often. So they can't really tell you how they're going to grow and why they're going to be more or less profitable, or, where they should invest their money and time to grow because it will get them where they want to go. Right.
Yeah,
they can't, they've got like 2 of the 5 requirements to plan the trip. Right.
Yeah, exactly. You're right.
They know where they are right now, and they know their credit card number, but beyond that, they can't figure anything else out.
Yeah, and just understanding that cost structure and how that fits into the overall business model, even capacity. I was working with, interestingly enough, an aviation company, and we were trying to come up with they did charter jet flights, and we were trying to come up with what can the business really generate if you're working in all cylinders. And I said, so what's your amount of downtime per aircraft? And the CEO had no idea. He
Not
said,
only that,
it can't be more than 10%. And it turned out to be 30%.
It gets more complicated than that. What's the limit of your pilots, and how often can they fly, right? And there's limitations on how often they can fly, how much they can fly at one time, right? And so there's all those constraints. Nobody's thought about those. Right. They just look at the one I always have is the person who says to somebody, well, if we want to make more money as a restaurant, why don't we just put more tables and chairs in the restaurant? Right? Yeah. And you look up at the wall and you go, you see the fire code number over there, right? That says how many people can be in this room.
Yeah.
Like, maybe we should take that into consideration. And by the way, have you thought about the limit of the kitchen? Can the kitchen do more? Like, yes, we can hire more servers, maybe, but can the kitchen actually produce more stuff, right? Like, we're not thinking about the chess game that we're playing. We're just sort of, let's assume that everything's ultimately totally expandable no matter what.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's, I absolutely agree with you. That's often lacking.
Yeah.
That's where data analytics allows you to come back in. And as we talk about some of the KPIs, I think data analytics starts to highlight areas where some KPIs that they don't have any idea about turns them on. And, one of the things that I'm hoping I can enhance and bring to the conference is my son has really developed a little software item for data analytics that might be useful and might be able to share something with you at the conference. By then, he and his partner are currently having it tested by 40 testers around the country and the world, because it's both running in the US and in Europe. But 100% focused on data analytics. Now they're looking at large firms that are doing 100 million and above, but they adapted it so it'll fit down to firms that are doing 20 to 50 million also.
Cool. Very cool. Yeah, it's a wild new world out there.
Yeah, and just the general thought process that what got you here will get you there, right? If a little is good, then a lot is better. Those sort of general thought processes are dangerous, right? When you don't know what you're talking about. When you do, when you have the data in front of you and you have the ability to look at the business model in all aspects, not just financial, all aspects, then you can have some intelligent conversations about what should happen and what should that look like.
Yep.
Yeah, 100%. Hey guys, can I ask a quick question before Paul has opined in chat? Thank you, Paul. Swipe left to between single speaker and multi, but the multi. Okay. Yeah. So this is a test of using Circle, right? I'm trying to get away from Zoom. We're having some technological issues with Zoom, and paying for technologies in triplicate or quadruplicate. What did you think of this, using this technology?
I like
so
it.
Let me jump in. Go ahead.
Yeah, I could say I like it only because we now have the ability to restrict it to people that we have in the active community, as opposed to any of the old timers who have ceased to being actively involved and engaged.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Ed. Eric, you started to say?
Yeah, I'm technology ambivalent. I'm not a big fan of Teams because I find it to be not super. But I don't mind Zoom. I use Zoom. I use Google Meet. I use Teams. Right. So I've used all of them. This is just fine. I think it worked effectively. Paul, for your if you click on the view button in the bottom right, and it says gallery tiles, and there's a slider there. If you slide it all the way to the right, you can have up to 14 people or 16 people on the screen. So there are you can change how it looks. I did the same thing.
Yeah, the jumping around. I found myself ping-ponging around. Wayne, thoughts?
Well, I like most everyone. I've used Teams, Zoom. I even can remember using GoToMeeting. I think the tools have gotten a lot better and a lot more intuitive, so that if you are used to the Zoom paradigm or Google Chats paradigm of going to the bottom and figuring out what those buttons do and what they are, you can get most of what you need. There's some things that Zoom offers, from AI companion to a whiteboard, that sometimes are useful, but not all the time. And I don't see that, for instance, a whiteboard, if you wanted to open up a whiteboard on this call, I don't see that ability in here. Maybe it's there. I just haven't explored it yet.
Yeah, we haven't used a whiteboard in any of these meetings, but your point's a good one. I'll check that out, because the other technology, I'm moving all of my personal meetings to Google Meet. It has evolved remarkably. It has given me everything that Zoom gives me. There's only one thing that it doesn't do, which is the ability to take someone's AI note taker and just not kick them out, but not have them be a black tile like we have Eric. Eric, I'm sorry, man. I get, I don't know, thumbs up, thumbs down on not being able to see Eric. We're going to leave that alone. But
Well,
I think that's got to be a thumbs up for everyone.
yeah. I mean, even with all its limitations, I find that most of my clients are using Teams just because, it's a Microsoft, right?
Oh.
There's Eric. Yeah.
I turned off. I just hit the camera button at the bottom and turned it back on. I could see myself. I was showing up on mine just fine, but
yeah.
Okay, we'll get back. Well,
anyway, but I don't like Teams.
I don't like Teams either.
And
don't go to Teams, George. But this is fine if this is where we want to be.
Well, then let's do it again. We'll use this again next week.
I'm more of a fan of Zoom, honestly, but this is fine.
Yeah, this works fine. I like the security of it.
Okay, awesome.
Eric, I may not be able to join you next week, George. I'm going to be in Hawaii, so instead of having to get up to a 6:30 coffee Klatsch, that would be a 3:30 coffee Klatsch.
Yeah, that's a hard no. Wayne, have a great trip. I'll be talking. I'm going to give you. We'll check in. I sent you an email.
So to answer your question, George, why I like Zoom, one, it's the one I use the most, so I'm the most familiar with all the tools, and to Wayne's comment before, I know where all the tools are and I know how to get to them easily and I know how to work them, right? It's, again, this is just fine. I didn't find anything on here that didn't work, but I also like the fact that I wasn't displayed in part of it. I couldn't see that from my side, and that never happens in Zoom, right?
That's true.
Well, we'll look at the quality of the recording, and I'll post inside the Klatsch space. So
yeah,
listen, guys, thank you very much. Anything I can do to help you this week, please.
Okay.
Know where to reach me, and I appreciate you guys. Wayne, have a great time in Hawaii. I'm a little envious, and on that note, thank you, Eric, Ed, Wayne, Paul.
We'll
talk
later.
Thanks.